to guide you through some tips on how to introduce yourself to new people online. And we'll also have some time for networking, which is the time where you will put into practice these tips. And before we talk more about the Network with the Community series, we wanted to explain you why we are organizing this Network with the Community series. So we saw on Ecom Connect that people were looking to connect with other entrepreneurs, that people were looking to learn, to discuss topics, to just meet other people and have a chat about their journeys, not just watch a webinar or participate in a workshop. So we decided to go into this and improve the skills to network with other members of the community. So some of you might remember, but back in, I think it was in February, where we organized a webinar on how to network online for business owners. And Rashina went through a series of very actionable tips on how to do that online. And in this webinar, which you can watch again because it's on the community under the video tab, we also surveyed our participants to get a better understanding of what the main challenges were for them. Sorry, let me unmute. Okay. And then we found out that people were having difficulties about not knowing what to say when talking to strangers, also about maintaining relationships after meeting people online. That was also one of the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs. We were also, people were feeling that what they were saying was not interesting enough, and they were a bit scared about talking to others just because they feel what they say is not worth it. And then another challenge was not knowing how to exit a conversation, and maybe how to stop someone in a way that it's nice, that it's friendly, because you have to leave, but also in a way where you share your contact details for later, and you don't sound, let's say, ridiculous. And then there was also an issue about speaking up. So people didn't know how to speak up, how to raise their voices and cut a conversation to ask something in a way that doesn't sound rude at all. And our sixth and last challenge is on active listening. So people, especially online, were having issues to concentrate, to focus on a single topic, do active listening, and focus on what the other person was saying. So this has helped us organize this series, and our goal here is to really focus on each of these challenges and put different tips into practice. So our program, which is called Network with the Community, covers 6 sessions from May to September to this year. And in May, we are going to have this kickoff session, which is about introducing yourself to new people. But then we'll host one at the end of the month about reaching out to people online. And then in June, we'll have another session on working on worthiness. So helping you to be proud of your achievements. And in this session, we are going to collaborate with Google. They have an initiative that focuses on this topic, which is called I Am Remarkable. And there we are going to co-organize a session with them. So we hope you can all attend, because it's going to be very, very practical. And a team like Google working with us, I personally think it's going to be really a good experience for all of us to learn. And then in July, we'll organize a session on leading meaningful discussions. And then we'll move into identifying opportunities to collaborate. And finally, building our network over time. And in some of these sessions, we'll collaborate with other organizations. As I told you, we have Google on board, but we'll also collaborate with other institutions and other communities out there that will help us, meet new people who can be part of our network. So we hope you enjoyed this series. Please help us also share the next series with your network. Put into practice all the tips we'll do today. Don't hesitate to ask questions in the chat, or also unmute yourself if you want to ask something. We are all ears. And of course, feel very comfortable, because this is going to be a bit informal. We want you to feel, in a safe environment, meet people, talk to them, and really make the best out of this to improve your business skills later. And now Rashina, my colleague, she's going to guide you through the tips for this session.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm excited for this session because based on the webinar that we did last time, this seems to be a really big topic that people were struggling with. So introducing yourself to new people, it's the very first step of the networking process. And it seems like it's a really big step that people are kind of worried about, feeling not so confident about. So today, what you're going to need to get started is a pen, a paper, and also your thinking hats. We're going to take you through a couple of tips, and then we will have a short exercise for you to get started. And then we will be putting people into breakout rooms so that you can actually practice the exercise and introducing yourself to new people based on what we've shared during the following tips. Okay, so tip number one is to actually make your introduction personal and memorable. So often when it comes to the networking context, people think that they have to be really professional, really immaculate, but actually when it comes down to it, what we would recommend is for you to be very much yourself during the process, because the people who really resonate with you and want to connect with you will do so based on you being yourself and them connecting with the person that you are. So it's important for you to let your personality shine through and really be yourself throughout the process of meeting new people online, especially because online you don't get to see someone physically in a room next to you. So it's important to be even more of yourself so that comes through in an online context. The second thing is that context is very important. So for example, in this series, we're going to be talking to a lot of e-commerce entrepreneurs, people who are part of the Ecom Connect platform. And so it's important when you're joining online events, webinars, networking opportunities, that you bear in mind the context. And when you're meeting new people and introducing yourself, actually think about, how can you add value to someone else's journey based on the context? So let's say you meet someone in a Slack channel or you meet someone on a webinar. How is it that that context can tell you something about that person and what they're looking to achieve? The third tip that we have when it comes to introducing yourself to new people is to actually keep your own story at the front of your mind. So this relates to an exercise that we're going to get you guys to do very shortly, but it's very much to do with this worthiness piece. So actually bearing in mind what makes you you, what makes you special, what are your superpowers, and updating this list very regularly so that you can always come to a networking event with that idea of who you are, what you bring to the table, what your personal journey has been as a professional or entrepreneur, so that you're never at loss of things to say when you're faced with someone, right? So that was something that came up during the webinar. What do I say to new people? We're hoping that with this list, you can have a couple of things to give you a boost of confidence when you're engaging in new conversations, and also just give you a couple of things that you can lean on when you're at a loss of words. The fourth point is really don't pressure yourself to share all of the things that come to mind in one go. So be specific. Sometimes you might have a window of 30 seconds. Sometimes you might have a window of a couple more minutes. So just select stories, select points and things to share based on how much time you have available. Don't pressure yourself to get it all in one go. The people that really resonate with you and who you are will do so regardless of how much information you manage to cram into a couple of minutes. So just rest assured that it's not about getting a volume of information across. So when it comes to meeting new people within an online context, this is something we also wanted to share a couple of pointers on, because nowadays everyone is meeting new people online more than offline. So the first point goes back to what Christina was saying earlier about listening actively. So this is something that a lot of people struggle with. Listening actively means really going in a little bit deeper, giving people the space to expand on their points, asking thoughtful questions, being attentive, and actually trying to understand people better as a person. So rather than, being in a rush to talk about yourself, actually, the person that is across from you, take the time to get to know them and understand them. And this leads to much more fruitful relationships and relationships that scale well over time. The second point is to actually not be afraid to add people online. So what I would like to ask you guys to do today is, if you feel comfortable, drop the link to your LinkedIn or your social profiles and feel free to add each other. And if you have a conversation today that you think is particularly interesting, don't be afraid to get in touch with that person afterwards and say, hey, I saw you at this networking event for Ecom Connect. I really love what you had to say. So let's grab a virtual coffee. Let's take a next step together. That's something that a lot of people are hesitant to do, but it actually sometimes is that little push that you need to actually start a really beautiful relationship. The final step is literally take the next step. So if you meet someone, you think that they have something interesting to share, you like their story, you think that their journey is particularly in line with your own, then don't be afraid to propose to them to grab a virtual coffee. Or if you have a collaboration idea in mind, maybe reach out with that. We really want this to lead to fruitful connections and relationships, and above all, for you to practice actually reaching out to new people and being more present in the online networking that you engage in. So those are a couple of pointers that we wanted to share specifically about the online piece. Okay, so this is the first step. I hope that everyone has a pen and paper. So what we want you to do is essentially write down a list of memorable things about you. So these could be superpowers, things that you do particularly well, unique attributes, unique stories, any unusual or memorable details, or personal accomplishments and accolades. And sometimes these could also be things that are less formal. So for example, I was talking to Christina about this yesterday, and I told her about how when I was 8 years old, I was robbed by a baby elephant. So things like that. It doesn't have to be really, serious professional details. It's just things that make you who you are, stories that make up your identity. So we're going to give you 3 minutes to sit down, have a think about this, and write down a couple of bullet points. And what I would like in future is for you to continually update this list as you go through your professional journey.
Yeah, so we'll give you 3 minutes starting from now to write down a list of memorable things. So take your time, because this is going to be very useful for step 2, where we are going to put you into breakout rooms to discuss about this, and then you can obviously mention this in your introduction. So 3 minutes from now. Let's go. Put some music on the background. It's not very easy, this exercise, all of a sudden, I guess. We have 30 seconds left.
Is there anyone that feels that they need more time? Please flag that up in the chat.
Yeah. Minutes. Should we give 1 more minute?
Yeah, I think that nobody has said anything in the chat about needing more time, but I think we can give them 1 more minute just to be sure. Remember, everyone, these are unique details about you, maybe some stories, something that makes you memorable, something a little bit more personal.
Yeah, we have Neela who's asking for more time. Agree, it's a short time. So let's wait for a bit more. Okay, time's up. Let's just continue with what you have written down. I hope this exercise helped you to realize that you have a lot of memorable things to share, although it's difficult at first when you think about them, but then they come up and you are like, oh wow, I really have many things to share. That's cool. And before going to step 2, I think, Rashina, we can have just a quick overview again into the tips, just the headlines, so that people remember this for the second part.
Okay, so yes, I think that's a good idea. Let's do that before we get started, just as a recap. So being personal and memorable, I think memorable is always a tricky one because people think, well, what is memorable? Hopefully this list will also have given you some ideas of things that you can share. Maybe it's not directly related to what you do, or maybe that's like part of what you do and you also want to share something that's a little bit more personal to you and to your passions. Remember that this is on the Ecom Connect platform. So if you meet any entrepreneurs and you think, wow, I really love that e-commerce business, or I love their digital business, and I'd really love to collaborate with them, that's something that you can also discuss. It's good to bear the context in mind because we really want you to all gain a lot of interesting relationships from this session. And remember your personal story and your personal journey, right? So don't put so much pressure on yourself to share all of the details in one go. We've gotten you all to write down a list. I would not suggest using all of the things on your list when it comes to introducing yourself. So let's say you have 3 minutes to introduce yourself. Maybe you might share a couple of more details in a logical sequence, or based on your personal journey, what comes up and what seems to resonate the most. But if you have 30 seconds, maybe you would just share the highlights. So it's something to kind of be aware of. And yeah, I think that's the main thing when it comes to the breakout rooms and the sessions that we're about to do. Just make sure that you feel kind of natural going into it. Don't put pressure on yourself. This is a safe space for people to connect and meet each other and be open-minded about that. So yeah, that's what I would suggest just moving forward.
Great. So yeah, now we are going into step 2, which is the practice mode. So we're going to put you into breakout rooms of 3 people, and we are going to have here 3 rounds. So in the first round, we are going to give each of you 2 minutes to introduce yourself, and then we'll give you 2 extra minutes in each breakout rooms to continue the conversation, ask you questions about more information that you want to know from the other person, share your LinkedIn profiles or other contact information. Then we'll put you into different groups for the second round, and there you will have 1 minute to introduce each of you instead of 2 minutes. And then we'll do the same for the third round. So we'll put you into a new breakout room with new people, and you will have 30 seconds, each of you, to introduce yourself. So it's really, in this practice session, you have to really put it into practice to tell the most important details and focus on what you really want to share. And remember, it's a safe space. Be nice, encourage others to talk. You might find more people, some people who are more shy, others who like talking a bit more, but encourage others to feel comfortable as well. So let me put you into breakout rooms here. 1 second. I think I need to stop sharing. Okay.
So we have someone who's asked, what is the context? So when it comes to these breakout rooms, we want you to essentially practice your introduction. So some of the bullet points from the list that you wrote down, maybe some other details that you think might be relevant based on the fact that we're running this through Ecom Connect, and many of the people who are part of this platform in this session today are e-commerce business owners. So yeah, I wouldn't get too specific. I would just say, go into it with that perspective of, okay, I'm going to introduce myself, share some personal details, and practice the art of the introduction.
Yeah. Any other question before we go to the breakout rooms? Okay, so I'm gonna create them. Second.
So we have another question.
Again, what are the 2 minutes, 1 minute, and 30 seconds? So you have to introduce yourself in your breakout room. And first, you'll have 2 minutes, each of you, to do so. So the ones that are still here in the main room, you can click on join the breakout room, and you'll be taken there. Okay, I think we have, yeah, all the breakout rooms of 3 people at least. Asma, were you able to put this into practice in a breakout room? Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope this was useful. How are you feeling in the
Hello.
breakout room? Hi, hi Vikram.
Hi. Hi, how are you doing?
Good, and you? How was it in the breakout room?
It was good because actually I joined probably at the last moment. So, but the initial discussion and the introduction was good so far. Uh, I'm looking forward. Let's see.
Okay, welcome. Yes, now we are going to do the same exercise, but we are going to give each of you less time. So now what we were doing
Mhm.
was that for all of you who just joined, we put you into breakout rooms of 3 to 4 people, and we asked you to put into practice like how to introduce yourself with other people for about 2 minutes. And now we're going to do the same, but for 1 minute. And we'll put you into different groups so that you practice this again and again, with different people. I think we are all here. So are you ready for the next round?
Yep, looking forward.
That's great. Okay. Um, okay, 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna open the breakout rooms again, and now you have less time. Remember that 1 minute each of you, plus some extra time for questions or comments there.
Hi, did I miss the breakout room? I saw something come up on my
Hi,
screen.
Shona. Yeah, did you join the first breakout room or not?
I think, let me.
You have to see a message now that says join the breakout room. You are, yeah, there you go. Hi, Asmai, where are you joining from? I can't hear you. Mm. Hi, welcome back.
Hello.
Hi, Abhyuday. Welcome back.
I am really sorry. So actually, electricity went off and my laptop is not working without Wi-Fi. I just logged into my phone again.
Don't
So
worry.
have you shared your introduction? So let's be very quick. I'll just introduce myself first. And sorry for no video because there's no light and it's dark out here.
Don't worry,
So
Abhyuday, because I mean, we were introducing ourselves in the small groups. I suggest you let us know in the chat.
I have attended exactly. I have attended first two, the 2 minute one and the first minute.
Yeah, that was
When the group started, I it just got disconnected. I'll introduce myself. So I am Abhyuday Jha. I am from India. I am an international trade and development professional. I have done my master's in international trade and development. I have been working from 5-6 years. Currently, I am working with Government of India, Ministry of Commerce, helping them to attain more development and sustainable growth in manufacturing sector, handling two main projects for them. My apologies if I am going fast because time is less. I want to give you time also. So.
That's great. Yeah, thanks a lot. Good intro. This is a good example of what to say in a quick way when there's limited time. So thanks a lot, Abhyuday, for introducing yourself. And now let me share again the screen. Yes, here it is. So how was the experience in the breakout rooms? How did you feel?
So exactly, it was really good exercise. Firstly, I'll give my feedback in terms of it was really the exercise, and we learned a lot. We exchanged good knowledge, and with two of the members in first and the second group, I also exchanged email. So we were keen in exchanging knowledge in terms of professional endeavors, how we can assist, and how we can take advice and suggestions from each other. And these were the things that I really enjoyed from the first two sessions, but eventually in the third one I just got lost because of the connection disconnect. But I have attended other sessions of Ecom Connect, but this was one of by far one of the most interactive and amazing session that I have.
That's great.
Of learning more practical skills.
We hope you liked it. Yeah, that's great. And now we wanted, well, you can also let us know in the chat, but I don't know if you've ever used a tool called menti.com. It's a tool that creates a word cloud where we can put the main takeaways of this session for you. So as the slides says, we want to ask you to go to menti.com and then use this code. And we will generate a cloud with the main takeaways of the sessions for you that will also help us, create better content for the next sessions, because we'll see what's more important for you and what are the key takeaways in this case.
Fair enough. I'll do the needful. I'll just give my feedback and suggestion.
Yeah, it will take like
actually electricity. So for that I'll be needing the laptop, and electricity is not there. So I'll just do it after the electricity comes.
Yeah, don't worry.
Fine?
That's perfect. I'm asking this to everyone, so I'm just gonna mute you for a sec, and then let's see if anyone else wants to share their opinions. Thanks so much.
Fair enough. Same here.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Nila.
Hi, I'm Naila from Tunisia.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, in the room, the exercise was great, but I'm not sure that we introduce ourselves exactly. What is the best sentences that we should use? Can you give us an example, you, Chris, or Rashina, with a good presentation in order to compare between what we have do and what we should do? Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Rashina, you want to go or I go?
Yeah, sure. So thank you so much for bringing that up. I think it's a really good point. The first thing that I actually mentioned in the breakout rooms is I have a really good example of this. So we recently did a Get Inspired series with the founder of OnSong, Vanessa Pham, and she took, I think, around 3 minutes to introduce herself, but it was immaculate. So if anyone is struggling to get forward their value proposition or that kind of thinking, what is an exemplary format to do that with? I would definitely suggest going and listening to how she introduced herself. How I would do it is I would say, hello, my name is Rashina. I'm a United Nations consultant. I'm currently working with the International Trade Center on the e-commerce platform that we're currently using for this session. I also run a creative studio that works with technology brands. So we help the technology space tell kind of more bold, audacious stories on the market. And I am studying to become a belief coach on the side. So that's how I would say it. That's just mainly based on a couple of points that are important to me, but you can choose anything. And I think that it really depends on the context and how much time you have, which was part of the exercise today. And yeah, I would encourage everyone to look at the session that we did, which was actually an interview with Vanessa Pham, because she really used the 3 minutes that she had to introduce herself, her mission, you know, why she does what she does, what the benefit is, how it's become credible within her space. So if anyone is thinking about how to do it in a business context, I would definitely suggest listening to that. But I think it just takes practice. So that's the 3 points that I shared would be the main ones that come to mind for me. I wonder if Christina, you have anything that you would add to that?
Yeah, I wanted to add something because we're talking about networking online, and you know, it's not just about talking and turning your camera on, it's also about using the chat, for instance. And something that I like there in the chat is when you introduce yourself, remember that, especially like this is a good example on Zoom, you write a sentence, but then people keep writing, so your message gets lost. And some people put, it's a mistake, you know, but we learn from mistakes that you just put your email address and then that gets lost. You really don't know who has said that, in which context. So when you send a message introducing yourself and you write it down, try to make it short, to the point, and all in one block. So, hi, my name is Christina. I work as an e-commerce consultant for the International Trade Center. I help small businesses export online. If you want to know more about e-commerce, join Ecom Connect. We will be happy to connect with you and learn more there. And this is the address, and this is my email. Thanks. You know, something like that would be nice. And that's that's a message I wanted to tell you because I saw it in the chat right now, and then, you know, the message gets lost and then you can't contact that person again. So if you do this together with what Rashina did, I think it's a good start point.
And I think another thing that Christina mentioned, which is really important, is she actually included a call to action at the end of her introduction, which is something that we often overlook, right? So if you're interested to get to know me better or to get to understand my activities, connect with me in this place. I think that's really helpful. And I'm really happy to see a lot of people doing that in the chats. Christina, maybe what we can do is if you give everyone your email address, we can set up some kind of an Excel or something so that people have each other's contact details more easily. I can see a lot of people trying to connect in the chat, and even the amazing conversations we've had so far were a little bit unfinished, I would say.
Yeah, that's great. I think that what we can do, because I saw that someone was asking that they wanted the contact emails from the other people today. I think that what we will do is when we share a follow-up email with you with the resources of this session, we can send a form where you can fill in, you know, the info, and then we can share that with everyone later. And I want to show you now the takeaways that people were filling in. We have very nice words here. So we have interactive, meet new people, share an accomplishment, be human. That's very important. Empathy, show empathy. Show that you're interested in the other person. Relaxing, fun. Yeah, I'm happy that you found this fun and interactive, because we also wanted to create this atmosphere so that you feel in a safe place. That's good. Thanks a lot for filling this in. Okay, and then, yes, to wrap up, so we are going to have our next session at the end of May. We'll update the event on Ecom Connect this week, and then you can register. This session is going to be about reaching out to new people online. So we'll work like in a similar style. So we'll have like a part of the session which will be like a workshop, and then we'll have a more networking component there. Rashina, do you want to add anything there?
Yeah, so I think that just as Christina said, we're going to send an email around with all of the resources. So for those of you who are really keen to meet the wonderful people that you already met in these breakout rooms again, make sure that you look out for that email, that you add in your details so that you can continue the conversation afterwards. That's what we would encourage, right? Reach out to the people that you really connected with. I think even in as little as 2 to 3 minutes, we really got an impression of each other. So definitely take advantage of that. Take the next step, fill in the form, and make sure you interact with each other. And also do already bookmark this session, reaching out to new people. I think it's going to be a really helpful one. It's something that people always ask about, how to get in touch with new people online, what to do, how to say it, how to approach it. So we're going to be sharing a lot of tips around that. And I would definitely encourage it, especially based on some of the conversations that we've had today.
That's great. Yeah, and also to add like we also wanted to tell you that if at some point you want to create your own meetups in Ecom Connect to talk about e-commerce, or because you're in the handicraft sector and you want to meet more people who are selling there, you can also create your own group. You can reach out to us, and then we can discuss how to do that, and you can manage your own group, like focusing on a region or focusing in a country or in a topic, and then you can organize your own online meetups, and also offline you're able to meet in person. So feel free to reach out to us if this is of your interest as well. And yeah, thanks a lot, everyone. Have a very nice week.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
And see you in the next session.
Everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Nice meeting everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye. Take care.